How does one deal with loss? At the time of the loss, it's very difficult to manage the emotions, to become objective when you've just experienced a loss. And the reason for that is that if one has developed an attachment for that person or for that object or for a particular situation, we're going to feel the pain, the grief, the sorrow that comes from attachment. You've just lost a thing that you're attached to, that you were dependent on, that you relied on for pleasure, for comfort, for solace. There is going to be grief. What we could do to lessen the grief is allow time to work. Give it time. But how we delay the recovery or the healing is by constantly reliving memories of that person, memories of the interactions. Some people go through photos or they scroll through past photos of the person. But what we're doing is we're increasing the attachment instead of acceptance, gratitude, and moving on. The ideal way to handle loss is to prepare for it before it happens. And this we do by developing the intellect. The intellect is that part in our personality which can manage the mind's emotions, that can manage the mind's attachment. And what the intellect does is it loves, it appreciates the other person, but doesn't allow the dependence and attachment to set in. Why? Because right through, you understand through development of your intellect, through study, through knowledge like Vedanta, that everything in this world must pass away. The best of times, the worst of times must pass away, must change, must go, all of it will pass. And if we are clinging on to something, hoping that it will not change, that it will not pass, we set ourselves up for disappointment, grief at the loss. But loss is a part of life. Death and birth are two sides of life. We only want the one, and therefore we are unprepared and suffer with the other. The time to prepare, the time to ensure that we don't get too attached, too dependent, is right at the beginning. Enjoy the relationship, appreciate the relationship, love the person fully, but without the attachment, without the dependence. So that when they go, or when they part, or when the relationship changes, you can wish the other person well, be grateful for their presence, that experience, and move on to living the next aspect of your life. So when we say prepare for the loss, prepare for the change, what does that mean? And it actually means understanding that something could happen, that you might part ways, there may be a disagreement, there may be death, an illness, any of the things that could happen in life. And when you understand this and prepare that if this happens, will I be okay? How will I deal with this? If you prepare for it, you safeguard yourself from that grief. You are ready for it. Does this make us a pessimist? Does this make us constantly expecting the worst of things to happen? No. The difference between a pessimist and a philosopher is this. A pessimist is constantly expecting the worst to happen. A philosopher prepares for the worst because it could happen. And once prepared for the worst, works for the best, enjoys the relationship to the max. This is a philosopher. Let's be philosophers. That when we're with the person, we enjoy fully. If the person was to leave us temporarily or completely, we will be okay. We can continue living gracefully, with objectivity. How do we become independent like this? It means development of the intellect, not encouraging the dependence on the other person. No doubt we get into a relationship because we need some comfort, we need some company, we need some solace. But having got into the relationship, let us keep striving to become more and more independent rather than more and more dependent. If we lean too heavily on the other person, expectations increase and increase until the person cannot bear the burden of the relationship. And that's usually what causes the separation, the attachment, the depending on the other person for your happiness. No one can make you happy except yourself. What is an ideal relationship? Together, you're better, helping each other grow. But if separated, no distress, no grief, no sorrow, maybe even appreciation, gratitude. It is not easy. During the loss, give it time and try not to keep reliving that which has happened. Think about the aspects to appreciate, to be grateful for, and allow the person to pass.